Fresh off his escape from the SIRCAA Institute, Skif now finds himself on the road again. He now has about a 1.6 kilometre hike to Quiet's Place, one of his old favourite trading spots before entering the S.T.A.L.K.E.R region. Skif is responding to a distress call received from Professor Ladushka moments ago. This Professor Ladushka previously helped Skif in his journey for answers and revenge. When Skif's path brought him to Wild Island, Professor Ladushka pointed him in the right direction. Professor Ladushka claimed a strange signal emitted from somewhere inside the base, and the Noontide faction turned back into monolithians as a result. While Skif agreed to help Professor Ladushka, Richter said he would go and find S.T.A.L.K.E.R in the meantime and hopefully get some help from him. Skif still isn't too sure about S.T.A.L.K.E.R and quite frankly doesn't like him at all, but at times like this, desperate times call for desperate measures. Maybe he knows something that we don't, but for now we're on our way to Wild Island to help out Professor Ladushka. This is the RPG Loner, and welcome to episode 10 of my S.T.A.L.K.E.R 2 series.
Knock, knock. What's that loud noise, huh? Did you hear that? I think it's the zone. It's hammering nails. In your coffins. What? You don't like it? Well, this is just the beginning.
S.T.A.L.K.E.R taunting the ward as he continues his bloody conflict, and rain pelted down on Skif as he continued his trek towards his objective. And just as Skif's mind started to wander, he noticed trouble ahead. And after a close call, Skif harvests very valuable mutant parts and continues on his journey towards Quiet's Place. And he does hope that Quiet's Place is relatively untouched, as, like I said before, it was one of Skif's favourite trading points before he entered the S.T.A.L.K.E.R region. It wasn't long before the Hercules pill that Skif dropped outside of the SIRCAA Institute had worn off, and now he's really struggling with the weight of his pack. He's got plenty of goods to sell, plenty of guns, plenty of ammunition. However, getting it to the location it needs to go is another issue. And hearing mutant noises and potential danger on his tail, he's going to start having to think about dropping something soon, as the sheer weight of it is going to slow him down and put him in danger. After dropping one of the cheaper items that Skif was carrying, he found himself able to run again, and with the change in weather, his spirits heightened. Right around the corner now from Quiet's Place, Skif felt a sense of anticipation building in him as he was very eager to drop his pack and get some light refreshments. He could almost taste the Cossacks vodka now.
Did you get that guy talking? What's his name? Ladushka? Not yet, but I've got an idea. It works like a folks like him. Do whatever it takes. If we go back empty-handed, he'll throw us to the Chimera, no shit. Copy. I'm on it. Stand by.
So Ladushka got himself into a spot of bother, obviously, and there won't be any trading going on here at Quiet's Place as the place has been ransacked. So let's go find out what happened.
What the fuck are you waiting for? Find him!
A minor consolation for Skif as he peels a bottle of Cossacks vodka out of the dead's hands.
You killed him, right? That mercenary? What was it? He left to get some water. Said he'd waterboard me until I told him everything.
How did you end up here at Quiet's camp?
After the signal, they all packed up and left. Didn't even bother to check my bunker. So I decided to warn everyone off the island. I needed a powerful radio. I knew Quiet had one.
What did that walk guy want from you?
They were looking for the source of the signal, I guess. But I have no idea who they're working for.
What happened to Noontide?
After you left the island, first, Striders showed up, put together a small team. Dudney, Horse, a few others, and he ordered the rest to defend the island. He said the ward would never forgive him for what he was about to do. But if he didn't, there'd be no more Noontide. So they left. And then there was the signal, and I can't get there for the monolith cries out of my head.
Where did that signal come from?
Somewhere deep inside the shelter. I'm sorry I can't give you an exact location. My equipment didn't last long under that exposure, just like the Noontiders. One thing's for sure, a blast that powerful doesn't just happen. There must be a device. Something from the monolith's past, probably. There's a problem, though. The vents at the shelter don't work. Underground rooms are filled with toxic waste gas. This place is already falling apart without Horse.
Horse is dead. I had to shoot him. He was about to kill Richter.
The man who attacked you wasn't Horse. My friend cherished life. Loved his life. Let others live. Choose between serving the monolith and taking a bullet. It would be an obvious choice.
How did a monolithian device end up in the shelter? Strider always tried to keep that stuff away from Noontide.
I can only think of one person. Faust. You know how much he clung to the past. I couldn't stand those sermons of his.
So I gotta fix the ventilation system to reach the source.
That's right. Horse just started working on it. I think he even ordered some parts from Quiet before he left. I've got his notes. You can have them. Core's had everything planned out, so you'll have no trouble figuring it out. One more thing. Right now, you can only get underground from outside the base, to the northeast. After you're done with the vents, head there.
Perimeter! The sphere is under attack! I repeat, we've got contact and need reinforcements. There's a shitload of them. Shitloads of what sphere? Stalkers? Noontide! They breached our defenses already. Fuck! Suhin is leading them. Sphere, please repeat. What's the status of your commander? Sphere, do you read? Over.
So Noontide are obviously on a rampage all over the zone. But right now we're thinking about the meeting we just had with Professor Ladushka. These mercenaries that kidnapped him were after the same thing we're after, the source of the signal. But before accessing the Noontide base, Skif must repair the ventilation system and clear the base of toxic gas. However, for right now at least, Skif was unprepared for the task ahead. He noticed Rookie Village was only about a kilometre hike down the road. His pack is heavy and his gear needed repairing. So he made the decision to quickly hike down there, offload his gear, sell what he needs to sell, get what he needs repaired, get a quick bit of sleep, and then first thing after waking up, head straight back down to complete his task. So right now, Skif begins his hike towards Rookie Village, although it wasn't long before he ran into more trouble.
Guys, I didn't hurt any of your people, I swear. Please don't! No! Don't shoot! I want to join you! Yes! That's what I want! Take me in! Oh, great!
It appears that Monolithians are now running this checkpoint, a checkpoint that has given Skif some trouble in the past. And after dispatching the group of monolithians, Skif continues his sprint down to Rookie Village. And it was a shame to leave all that loot behind, but Skif, with his pack already overloaded, can't afford to carry anything else, so he continues with haste towards Rookie Village, and in the morning he will run at a similar pace straight back up the road, back to where he needs to be. As Skif makes it to Rookie Village, he is greeted with some solid advice.
Hey man. Anti-rads, pills, it's all nasty chems, but a glass of good old vodka's the real remedy.
Skif rushed around to conclude his business and get back on track.
Well, the zone's freaking out. The monolithians shoot whatever they see, and stalkers are jumping at their own shadows. But none of it affects business. It just keeps getting better and better.
A good bit of business done by Skif and the pack a little bit lighter.
Good hunting, Stalker.
Now all there was to do was to get our weapons and equipment fixed and quickly head to bed for a bit of shut-eye and get back on the road immediately in the morning and get straight back to work. First thing the next morning, it didn't take Skif long to do the kilometre hike back up the road, and before he knew it, he was back on Wild Island's doorstep once again. Skif reflected on the task at hand. He must fix the ventilation system to drain all the toxic gas out of where he needs to be, and then investigate what possibly is causing this signal. The signal that turned the Noontiders back into monolithians. What will today bring, and what will he possibly encounter? Skif thought to himself. He continued on.
Ace, this is S.T.A.L.K.E.R. Noontide is storming in here like crazy. Definitely headed for the Dugan. We need immediate extraction. I repeat, we need a chopper in here now. We can't hold them off. I've already got a dozen heavy... Sniper, 2 o'clock. Open fire. Keep that fucker pinned down. Don't let him get his head up.
As Skif enters the Noontide base, we receive another strong radio signal indicating that Noontide have gone nuts. However, at this point, it's important to acknowledge that we should stop calling them Noontide and call them what they are, monolithians. Skif continues in the base. What will he find? Not a good start to the day. After dropping the beast, Skif patched himself up and cut from the beast the valuable mutant parts. After a light refreshment, he continued on his search for where he needs to make the repairs to the ventilation room, and then he can access the inside of the base and figure out where this signal is coming from. So he continues. Skif finds the area in question, and after making some simple repairs, he can continue into the inside of the base, which can only be accessed from the outside now, so he must head back up to the surface first.
Malachite equipment detected a sea-filled disturbance of immense power. Our field teams have already faced highly aggressive behavior from Noontiders. If they've returned to their previous monolithian state, we need to brace ourselves for the worst. The absolute worst.
And so Skif receives another radio transmission from a disgruntled party indicating that Noontide have gone nuts. So it is quite obvious that this group of now monolithians is wreaking havoc around the zone. Skif just about finds the access to where he needs to be and continues on.
Listen up, guys. There's something going on over at the Sphere. Gunfire and shit. Don't want to freak anyone out, but they mentioned monoliths. Here's the plan. Those with enough zone experience, meet me at the bar. We'll figure out how to defend Silesia if they decide to pay us a visit. No greenhorns for now. Stay put and don't try to be a hero. If you're scared, Warlock's got something to calm your nerves.
Yet another transmission received, this time from Silesia, one of Skif's favourite locations, indicating noontide are just wreaking havoc on the zone. But Skif finds the external access to the base and proceeds. Time once again to take the plunge into the abyss. Skif's pulse quickened as it did in situations like this. However, this time, danger did not present itself. Rather, opportunity. And with tonight's beer money secured, Skif continued into the base. Skif found the access point into the base. Now all there was to do was find out the source of this signal that turned the Noontiders back into monolithians. After a quick look around in this creepy little hovel, he found it looked like similar to the sea radiation beacons he encountered in the swamp. He's even getting shot at by figments of his imagination, so he knows that this is emitting sea radiation and likely what caused the signal.
Skif, come in. What's up with Lodishka?
He's alive. And he helped me find the thing that scrambled Noontider's brains.
Good to hear. I've got some news too. I'll shoot you Scar's current coordinates. He knew you wouldn't leave the shelter empty-handed. Whatever you found, he wants you to bring it to him. He says it'll come in handy for his future plans. Keep an eye on him, Skif. I don't like those insights of his.
So with the signal emitter in his pack, Skif receives a radio transmission from Richter and also a location of him and Scar. But before we head there, we're just going to catch up with Professor Ladushka, out of common courtesy. But before we do that, we need to find a way out of this base, as the way in is now inaccessible. After a quick look around, Skif finds a way out and heads for the exit. However, little did Skif know, he was in for another surprise.
Found what you were looking for? Drop your gun and give me the device, now!
Did your men capture Lodishka? Why?
Yeah, he was the only one who knew where to find the monolithian device. Give it to me, or you die.
I don't think so.
After putting the group of mercenaries on the back foot, he was about to show them exactly why he was the last guy that they should have been messing with.
Skif, come in. Did you get lost out there? Haven't heard from you since you left.
Some guys tried to take what I found at Faust's place.
Show me what you got. Maybe we can figure out what caused Noontide to become monolith again. I'm here, in my bunker.
So after once again getting the job done, Skif heads for Ladushka's scientific bunker to see if they can't figure out what's going on with this emitter. And on the way out, Skif hit another loot jackpot. Another very profitable day for Skif, and after he talks to Ladushka, he's going to have to figure out where he's going to unload his pack and sell his goods.
Mute, come in. 8, alphabet, Saba, machine, are you there? They weren't on the island when the signal hit. Maybe they weren't affected. All right, let's see what you've got.
Do you think Noontide ever stood a chance?
Only the dead have no hope. Hors was right about that. Thanks to you, Skif, I'm not dead yet. Hope is all I've got left.
You were right. It's some kind of device. Do you know what it is?
An emitter. It was used to control the monolithians. When linked to the X network, it transmits commands on a psi frequency that no monolithian can resist. I've never seen one of these intact before, but I've come across some of the components. I even repurposed a few for extracting energy from the waste here.
Where did those parts come from?
Honestly, smuggling. Strider didn't approve of that sort of thing, so I had to use some old S.T.A.L.K.E.R connections. One of them, a guy named S.K.A.R, managed to get what I needed.
Do you know how many of those emitters are out there? Did Faust mention anything?
Good thinking. After Azimuth, Strider asked me to listen to the old monolithian network chatter again. I did come across a peculiar message. Faust told his men to reach out to their brother Sukin about the S.T.A.L.K.E.R mission. I assume he was referring to another emitter. But how did he get so many? Then again, if I found the components, nothing stopped him from doing the same. Does that mean I had a hand in this? That Monolith's return is my doing? And Faust's?
What are you gonna do now, Professor? Wild Island isn't safe anymore.
Where would I go? This place is my home. Noontide's home. Only the dead have no hope. That's what Hors used to say. He was right. He was right all along.
So it was in fact a sea radiation beacon. However, now with Skif's business concluded, and Scar quite a bit away, he decides to go halfway up to one of his favourite towns to get a drink, the Slag Heap, offload his goods and have a well-earned beverage or two. Skif noticed a friendly group of stalkers camping on the edge of Wild Island.
Could be putting on for my bros right now. Talk to our boss.
Hey man, the zone's a scary place. Not because you get to face mutants or anomalies, no. It makes you face yourself.
As Skif left Wild Island for perhaps the last time, he took comfort in the fact that this friendly group of stalkers lived on the edge of the island and would perhaps protect Ladushka from more unsavoury types. However, now Skif was eager to get to the Slag Heap, and he headed off as night approached. But complacency breeds failure in the zone, and it would appear that this day had one more surprise in store for Skif. And as Skif riddled the strange creature with lead, he did think to himself, it is strange to see one of these things outside. He continued on his journey to quench his thirst and offload his pack. The slag heap wasn't far now. And there she was, that glorious mountain of junk straight ahead of him. He could almost taste the beer now.
You snooze, you lose.
Before enjoying himself, Skif must take care of business, so first things first, get his gear serviced and his weapons fixed.
Tell me what you want to upgrade.
And then he headed to the world's most unappreciative vendor to sell his goods.
Bring back some loot next time.
Skif then brought even more loot back. However, the vendor was just as unimpressed. No matter. It was time for some rest and relaxation.
Hey, you're alive! We were wondering if you got caught in that whole mess. I was betting on you. Folks are drowning their fear in booze. I'm kinda scared they'll drink their brains away before the Psi radiation even gets to them.
And so, after a few chasers and a spot of dinner, Skif began to start relaxing.
Look who's here. So we look like reporters to you. We're just hanging out, man. Cheers. Oh, wow. Well, here's to the legend.
Howdy. Ever heard that old digger saying, 7 shots and 1 trip down the mine? Was it the other way around? Who gives a shit? The important thing is drink up.
Indeed, sir. Indeed.
What cottonwood?
Kind of domes made of.
After drinking his fill, Skif stumbled towards his bed and decided to retire for the evening. For tomorrow, he had to continue his journey and head to the coordinates sent to him by Richter. After a nightcap, he heads to bed for the evening, and tomorrow his journey continues. But if you want to find out what happens next, tune into episode 11 of my S.T.A.L.K.E.R 2 series.